Beloved child of the Most High God, welcome. You didn't stumble upon this message by chance. You are led here, pulled here, directed by the unseen hand of heaven itself. Before we begin, I want you to declare your faith by typing these words in the comments below. I believe God's timing is perfect. Let this be your agreement with the Spirit today. Let it mark your willingness to receive what's already moving toward you. And if you're new here, I want to invite you to subscribe to Prophetic Message and turn on the notification bell, because this is not just a channel. This is your meeting place with divine instruction. Now, open your heart. The angel of the Lord is near. He speaks not with fear, not with confusion, not with riddles, but with peace and precision. And this is the word. You are getting married, and you are moving. Very soon. Yes, you may not see it. You may not feel like you're ready. You may even be doubting whether it's for you. But heaven has already written it down. Your season is shifting. Your atmosphere is changing. Your life is being rearranged for something holy. And the angel says, keep quiet. This is not a silence rooted in fear. It's not about secrecy out of shame. It's about protecting what's sacred. Because right now, God is doing something behind the scenes that doesn't need to be explained to everyone. Some things are too precious to be spoken too soon. Your marriage, your move, your new beginning, it is divinely scheduled. But heaven says, don't announce what's still being prepared. There are people around you who aren't assigned to your next chapter. There are voices who wouldn't celebrate your growth. They would sabotage it. There are hearts who don't carry the capacity to hold your testimony with reverence. That's why the angel says, keep quiet, but stay ready. God is moving swiftly. In the spiritual realm, a table is being set. Connections are being formed. Contracts are being released. Conversations are happening in rooms you haven't entered yet. Your name is being spoken by someone who's about to play a key role in this transition. And yes, this marriage is not just a romance. It is a kingdom union, a partnership that carries weight. You and your future spouse have been prepared for this alignment for a long time. You've both faced your own set of trials. You've both gone through purification. You've both learned hard lessons about love, boundaries, timing, and truth. And now, heaven says, the time is near. Isaiah 60:22 reminds us, when the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. This is not about how worthy you feel. It's not about how much money you have saved. It's not about whether your family understands it. It's not about whether you think you're good enough. This is about God's perfect will colliding with your surrendered heart. The angel shows me this clearly. There is someone watching this message who has already started packing spiritually. You've grown uncomfortable in your current space. It's not just physical discomfort. It's spiritual misalignment. You know in your heart that you don't belong where you are much longer. You've outgrown the room. You've outgrown the silence. You've outgrown the version of yourself that once felt safe here. And now the Spirit is saying, you're not just moving homes. You're moving dimensions. You're about to step into a season where your presence carries more authority, where your name opens doors, where your words create legacy. But it begins with obedience. And part of that obedience is the ability to walk in faith without public approval. Do you remember what Mary did when the angel told her she was pregnant with the Messiah? She didn't run around announcing it. She treasured it in her heart. She submitted to the process. She trusted the timing. And that's your word too. Treasure this. Hold it in your spirit, because the enemy would love for you to leak the blessing before it's ready. The enemy would love to stir jealousy, envy, drama, or discouragement through people who don't carry spiritual discernment. But you're smarter now. You've learned to pray before you post. You've learned to discern before you discuss. You've learned to move in silence and let the fruit speak louder than your plans. And when the fruit comes, oh, beloved, it will speak volumes. They'll see you walking hand in hand with someone who was carved by heaven just for you, someone who sees you, understands you, covers you, builds with you, moves with you, someone who doesn't just love your personality, but honors your assignment, because that's what God is doing. He's joining two assignments, not just two hearts. Ecclesiastes 4:9 says, "Two are better than one, because they have a good return for their labor." This move, this marriage, this moment, it's not just about companionship, it's about calling. You're about to join your anointing with another so that together you can do what neither of you could do alone. That's why the timing felt delayed. That's why the journey felt hard. That's why the warfare increased as the days got closer, because the enemy saw the blueprint. He saw the power of your union. He saw the ripple effect of your obedience. He saw the way your partnership would shake atmospheres. He tried to distract you, delay you, discourage you, but it didn't work, because here you are, still believing, still expecting, still walking by faith. And now the angel says, get your bags ready. Start preparing in the Spirit. Prepare your heart. Prepare your home. Prepare your hands, even if you don't know the date, even if you haven't received the proposal, even if the door hasn't opened yet. Faith prepares. Faith moves in advance. Faith doesn't wait for evidence to act. Hebrews 11:1 reminds us. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Your marriage is in motion. Your move is in motion. And you don't need to explain it to anyone who lacks spiritual vision. Not everyone will understand why you're suddenly unavailable. Not everyone will understand why your energy is focused inward. Not everyone will understand why you're quieter than usual. Let them wonder. Your silence is your shield. Your quiet is your obedience. And soon, very soon, the sound of wedding bells and opening doors will speak for you. Until then, remain hidden in God. Remain anchored in His voice. And when He tells you to speak, speak with confidence. But when He tells you to wait, wait with humility. This marriage will be holy. This move will be smooth. But both require your discipline in the quiet places. Beloved, stay seated in the Spirit as we continue. This message is unfolding like a scroll in heaven, and your name is written on every line. Heaven says, the plan is still on schedule. The date is hidden, but the work is active. Behind what seems like silence is the full motion of angels organizing divine assignments. You may not feel movement, but in the spirit realm, everything is shifting in your favor. The angel leans in and whispers, you are not being delayed. You are being hidden so that no one interferes with the next chapter of your life. Right now, you're in what feels like an in-between. You're no longer where you were, but you're not quite where you're going. And this space, this stretch of quiet waiting, it's not punishment. It's preparation for promotion. Some days it feels lonely. Some days it feels like you've been forgotten. Some days you wonder if you misunderstood the signs. If the dream of marriage was a figment of your own desire. But God says, I placed that dream in you not to tease you, but to guide you. The longing for marriage, the desire for a home where you are truly known, the hope for a partner who sees you in the Spirit and not just with human eyes. That was my voice, whispering into your DNA before you were even born. Genesis 2:18 says, it is not good for man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him. And that's what's forming now, someone suitable, not just attractive, not just available. Suitable. Someone whose pain complements your healing, someone whose vision complements your faith, someone whose love doesn't interrupt your peace. It becomes the fuel for it. And the move you're preparing for, the relocation that's stirring in your spirit, It's not random either. The place you're in now no longer supports the version of you that's emerging. You feel it every time you look around and sense that where you are no longer matches what God is doing inside of you. Even the furniture feels tired. The walls feel tighter. The routine feels repetitive. Why? Because your spirit has already moved ahead, and your body is catching up. When God is preparing you for transition, He starts by giving you internal friction. You can't rest the same. You can't socialize the same. You can't dream in the same environment anymore. That's why you've pulled back from certain people. That's why you've lost the desire to explain yourself. That's why you feel more connected to silence than noise. Because in the quiet, God is reintroducing you to your next identity. You're no longer the single and waiting version of you. You are becoming the married and established version of you. That's why your spirit has been craving order, craving structure, craving sacredness. You're no longer satisfied with relationships that drain. You no longer want conversations that waste time. You don't have the energy to chase what doesn't feel like destiny. And it's not because you've become cold. It's because you've become called. And you know now, deep in your bones, that what you're being called into is holy. The angel of the Lord shows me this. There's a house that already exists, and your name is on the mailbox. There's a bed where you will lay next to your spouse and feel peace. Like a river, there's a neighborhood, a city, even a street that has been chosen for this new beginning. And you don't have to force it. You don't have to buy your way in. You don't have to beg to be chosen. You're already chosen, because this geographical and spiritual transition is not just about physical relocation. It's about entering the atmosphere where your assignment can breathe. And for some of you, the person you're going to marry, they are in that new place already. God is preparing your paths to cross, not through manipulation. Not through your efforts, but through divine convergence. Proverbs 3-6 says, "In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make your paths straight." He's straightening your paths right now. He's clearing the obstacles. He's aligning timelines. And He's reminding you, keep it quiet. But keep your faith loud. Because sometimes silence is your sharpest weapon. The enemy listens too. And if he hears you talking too soon about your move, about your wedding, about your next season, he'll attempt to discourage you through the voices of the doubtful. But when you stay silent, you keep him guessing. When you stay rooted in stillness, you let the blessing mature in peace. There are people who don't know how to celebrate without competing. There are people who would rather you stay small, predictable, manageable. There are even those who speak blessing, but their hearts are unsettled by your elevation. But your responsibility is not to convince them. It's to obey God's instruction. If He says move quietly, do so. If He says wait for His timing, do so, because the testimony you're about to carry will be undeniable. They will see the photos. They will hear the vows. They will witness the new home, the new name, the new atmosphere. And they will know only God could have done this. There's someone watching this right now, and your future spouse has already seen you. They may not know your name yet. They may not have spoken to you. They may not even realize what they're sensing. But you've come into their orbit. You've passed through their spirit. They felt a stirring they couldn't explain. That's the Holy Spirit nudging them, tugging their heart, awakening their awareness. And very soon they will approach. They will reach out. They will step forward, not from fleshly attraction, but from divine recognition. When they see you, they will know, this is her, this is him, this is the one. So stay quiet. But stay expectant. Your wedding season is approaching. Your new dwelling is already secured in heaven's blueprint. Your partner is being drawn closer, faster, stronger every day. And your name? It's written in the same chapter as theirs. And When the chapter turns, the story will unfold with beauty. Don't try to explain it. Don't try to control it. Just walk with wisdom, and watch as heaven does what no man could have arranged. My beloved soul, the fact that you're still here, listening, soaking in each word, tells me one thing. You are aligned. You are no longer grasping at love, chasing false paths, or hoping someone validates your desires. You are listening not just with your ears, but with your soul. And the angel is still speaking. The message has not changed, but it is deepening. The angel of the Lord now reveals something sacred. The person you're going to marry is already changing because of you. You may not have met yet. You may not have exchanged a single word, but your presence in the Spirit has already shifted something in their life. And likewise, something in you is being restructured for them. This is what the angel calls silent mutual preparation. Both of you are being aligned through unseen moments, tears in the middle of the night, dreams that won't leave, random thoughts that lead you to unexpected places, encounters that feel small but are deeply prophetic. And right now, this message, these very words, are being delivered as another piece of that preparation. Because you're not just being called to a new relationship. You're being called to a divine assignment, and your marriage is a part of that assignment. And here's something you need to hear carefully. The reason God is asking you to keep this quiet isn't because you're not worthy of celebration. It's because your union is being anointed in silence, just like oil poured out in secret before kings are crowned, just like Jesus, who withdrew often before great miracles, just like a seed buried in the dark before it sprouts. Your destiny is being prepared in a private chamber of God's glory. There are moments in life when publicity becomes the enemy of prophecy. And this is one of those moments. What's being planted in you will soon bloom for the young world to see, but not yet. The conversations you want to have, the posts you want to share, the plans you want to announce, hold them close, breathe with them, whisper them only to God, because the people you're tempted to explain yourself to, some of them are not evil, but they're not spiritual either. And spiritual things can never be rightly judged by natural eyes. That's why 1 Corinthians 2:14 says, "The natural person does not accept the things of the Spirit of God, for they are folly to him, because they are spiritually discerned." It's not your job to make people understand. This move. It's your job to protect the oil. So here's what the angel is instructing right now. Prepare quietly, but prepare seriously. Start clearing the physical and emotional space in your life. For your spouse and for the move. Declutter your mind. Release what no longer fits. Create room, not just on shelves or floors, but in your heart. Because the person God is bringing into your life needs to land in a space that is open, healthy, peaceful, and expectant. They are coming with love, yes, but also with weight. Weight of vision. Weight of purpose. Weight of responsibility. And when two destinies collide, the room must be wide enough to carry the pressure. So, be honest with yourself right now. Are you ready to receive them not as fantasy, but as reality? Are you ready to love in truth, not just in daydreams? Are you ready to serve and be served? To give and receive? Because this move isn't just physical, it's spiritual maturity. God is maturing your desires. You no longer want a spouse to rescue you. You want a partner to build with you. And this is exactly what He's sending. But remember, maturity is quiet. People who are truly growing don't shout about every revelation. They walk with dignity, listen more than they speak, and let time testify on their behalf. And that is the spirit you are being invited into today. Now, here's another layer of revelation. Some of you watching this will literally move homes within the next 60 days. Yes, this is not metaphorical. For some of you, the angel says the door is already unlocking. What you thought would take years will unfold in weeks. A home will open up. A lease will be signed. A location shift will be made possible, and this move will set the foundation for your union. The area will hold divine appointments. Your spouse may live nearby or be connected through someone you'll meet there. Everything is being repositioned by the hand of God, and others of you are being moved not across land, but across levels. A new emotional maturity, a new understanding of love, a new posture of spiritual readiness. Either way, you are being uprooted from the past and replanted for the promise. Psalm 1-3 says, "They are like a tree planted by streams of water, which yields its fruit in season." Your season of fruit is near, and the fruit is not just blessing, it is evidence of God's faithfulness. Your wedding will be evidence. Your spouse's voice calling your name will be evidence. Your home's keys being handed to you will be evidence. But for now, remain quiet. Like Mary, hold it in your heart. Like Joseph, dream, but don't boast. Like Esther, wait for the moment when God says, "Now speak." Because when you speak, it will be clear, undeniable, and anointed. Beloved, as we continue walking through this sacred word, take a moment right now to breathe deeply and allow your soul to settle. You are not just listening with your mind. You are receiving with your spirit. This message is not coming to you by random chance. It is arriving with divine permission and heavenly clarity. And the angel of the Lord says again with gentle insistence, you're getting married and you're moving. Very soon, but keep it quiet. You've already heard this before, but now the weight of the word is pressing deeper. That means your spirit is closer to its fulfillment. The closer you get to breakthrough, the more crucial it is to protect what you carry. Because just like a woman in the final stages of pregnancy doesn't move the same way, doesn't speak the same way, doesn't tolerate the same environment, you also must become sensitive to your spiritual womb. You are pregnant with promise, and not everyone is meant to be in the room when it's time for delivery. Let the Holy Spirit select who sees you up close. Let God reveal who's carrying residue and who's carrying oil. Because this next chapter requires a circle of peace, not a circle of noise. You're not trying to win opinions anymore. You're not asking people to vote on whether you're ready. You're not giving access to people who only ever offer fear. In disguise, this is a holy moment. You've waited too long. You've cried too much. You've healed from too many things to allow this sacred move to be poisoned by careless voices. The Spirit is showing something clear. There is someone watching this right now, and in the last 3 days, you felt an unusual stillness. Not just silence around you, but a divine pause inside you. You felt that something is coming. You've noticed you're no longer drawn to the same places, people, or patterns. You've grown quieter, more internal, more prayerful. That's not a coincidence. That's the Spirit preparing you. Because when the move begins, when the engagement happens, when the transition starts, it will happen quickly. And heaven needs you to be anchored before it begins. The angel speaks again. Do not mislabel the stillness. It is not delay. It is incubation. Even when Jesus was in the tomb, and it looked like nothing was happening, heaven was already preparing resurrection. And the same is true now. Your silence is not a sign that nothing is happening. It is a sign that something holy is being formed in the unseen. You may feel hidden, overlooked, even isolated. But God says, I hid you to heal you. I quieted your surroundings so your spirit could get loud, because you've learned how to hear me again. And that's the key to sustaining your marriage. And your move, not just love, not just strategy, but the voice of God. When you walk into your next season, your ability to hear me will be your compass. You won't have to ask everyone what to do. You'll know what to say, how to pray, when to act, and when to stay still. Because discernment is your inheritance. This is not just about the beauty of being chosen for marriage. It's about the responsibility of being positioned by heaven. You are being assigned. You are being sent. Your future spouse, they are part of this movement. They are not just coming to make you happy. They are coming to build something holy with you. Together. You will walk into rooms neither of you could access alone. Together, you will stir faith in others just by being aligned. Together, your union will show people that God still writes love stories. And your home? It will be more than a physical space. It will be a sanctuary, a place where worship is normal, where peace is not the exception, it's the culture, where your children or your future plans or your ministries will be rooted in love and spiritual clarity. But none of that happens by accident, which is why, beloved, your silence now is your strength. Do not announce what heaven is still building. There is a time for public testimony. There is a time to declare what God has done. There is a time to say, "Come and see." But that time is after the foundation is laid. And the foundation is being poured now quietly, deeply, securely. God is laying stones in the ground that no one will see, but everyone will benefit from. Psalm 127:1 says, "Unless the Lord builds the house, the builders labor in vain." You don't want to build this home with pride. You don't want to start this marriage with pressure. You want it to be God-built, so He's building it now, stone by stone, prayer by prayer. And your job is to cooperate in silence. When the time comes, the proposal will come quickly. The conversations will shift. Doors will open. You may be invited to travel. You may be offered a new position. You may suddenly feel prompted to move cities, jobs, or friend circles. It will feel sudden, but it will not be random, because God has already gone ahead of you. He is sending angels before you, preparing the path. Exodus 23:20 says, "See, I am sending an angel ahead of you to guard you along the way and to bring you to the place I have prepared." That is happening right now. Your name is being spoken. Your face is being remembered. Your kindness, your spirit, your integrity, it is leaving a mark on those around you. Even when you feel invisible, even when you feel forgotten, your presence has power, and it's attracting what belongs to you. So what do you do now? You remain faithful. You remain planted. You remain quiet and confident. Isaiah 30:15 says, "In quietness and in trust shall be your strength." Let that quiet strength be your guide. Let it protect your promise. Let it guard your heart while heaven finishes its work. Now, precious listener, if this message has confirmed what your spirit has already been sensing, then it's time to respond in faith. Beloved listener, you're still here, and that means something. It means your spirit is anchored. It means you aren't rushing through this word like entertainment. You are receiving it as revelation. You're listening not just to what is being said, but to what God is doing in you as it's spoken. The angel of the Lord is still here, still speaking softly, but powerfully. And now, a new layer of the message is unfolding. Listen carefully. Not only are you getting married and moving very soon, you are also entering a time of divine separation, where certain things, people, and habits will start to fall away without your permission. And that is not punishment. That is preparation. Because when God is getting ready to establish you in covenant, He must first remove what cannot go with you. Some relationships have expired. Some friendships were seasonal. Some attachments were only meant to bring you to this edge, but they cannot cross over with you. And as painful as that sounds, the Spirit says, let them go. You don't need to explain it. You don't need to defend it. You don't need to overprocess it. When God prunes, it is always to make you more fruitful. John 15:2 reminds us, every branch that does bear fruit, He prunes so that it will be even more fruitful. This is not loss. This is refinement. And you'll begin to notice it in the smallest ways. Phone calls that stop. Plans that fall through. Opportunities that no longer excite you. People whose energy now feels heavy. That is your signal. God is shifting your circle so your soul can breathe again. He is recentering you so that your new partner will find you whole, undistracted, and grounded. You see, heaven doesn't just arrange romance. Heaven protects purpose. Your spouse will need the healed version of you, not the exhausted you. Not the insecure you, not the one still trying to win approval from people who never really saw you. That version is being laid down right now, because the person you're becoming, they are rooted. They are mature. They are not shaken by rejection. They don't need the world to understand every step. They simply move when God says move. And that's why your silence is spiritual warfare right now. Every time you choose peace over panic, stillness over reaction, prayer over posting, you're telling heaven, I trust you more than I trust my feelings. And trust is what invites divine timing. There are some watching this message, and you've been feeling antsy like you need to take action to help God along. Maybe you've been tempted to message that person. Apply for that apartment prematurely. Tell someone your plans too early. But the angel says, be still, be strategic, be spirit-led. If you're not careful, impatience will create an imitation of the real thing. But you didn't come this far to settle for imitation. You've waited too long. You've prayed too much. You've healed too deeply. You're not building a temporary moment. You're stepping into a lifetime promise, and that requires divine accuracy. There's someone watching right now, and God says, the next move is not yours. It's theirs. You've done your part. You've prepared in silence. You've remained faithful. Now you must let the other party move. Let your spouse be guided. Let the door be opened by a divine hand, not a desperate one. Because when God orchestrates, no one can deny the outcome. Revelation 3:8 says, see, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. You won't need to force this. You won't need to manipulate or push. The door is being opened by God himself. Your job now is faithful waiting. And what does that look like? It looks like worship while you wait. Planning with peace, tidying your space. Reading his word, letting go of past entanglements, and guarding your heart, not with walls, but with wisdom. The Spirit whispers something very specific now. Do not test people with your silence. Just protect your spirit. This is not about being cold. It's not about punishing others with distance. It's about building a quiet, sacred place within yourself. Place that no one can enter unless heaven invites them in. Because when the right person comes, your spouse, they will not need access through drama. They will come through discernment. They will recognize you by your peace, not your performance. And they will come already assigned, not needing to be convinced. Your marriage will not be the result of persuasion. It will be the result of preparation meeting prophecy. And you will know it. There will be no chaos in it. Even if it comes quickly, it will not come with confusion, because God is not the author of confusion. 1 Corinthians 14:33 says, for God is not the author of confusion, but of peace. You'll have peace about the person. Peace about the move. Peace about the next chapter. Even if people around you don't understand it, you will, because it was never there. Vision to carry. It was yours. God entrusted you with this word. You are the Yahweh's steward of this promise. And that means protecting it, nurturing it, praying over it even when no one else sees the full picture. That's what faith does. It builds in silence what the world will only understand in hindsight. And soon they will see it. They'll see the ring. They'll see the move. They'll see the glow on your face. But by then, It will be too late for doubt to disrupt it, because you obeyed the instruction. You stayed quiet. You stayed ready. You remained hidden in the secret place. Psalm 91:1 says, "Whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty." You've been resting in that shadow, and soon you will be walking in the fullness of the promise. Beloved listener, if you're still with me right now, that means your spirit has stayed open and your heart is still leaning in. That's powerful. That means you're serious about preparing, not just for a moment of joy, but for a lifetime of purpose. And the angel says now, this next stage of your life will not feel like anything you've known before, because you've never walked this closely with heaven. This isn't just a season of reward. It's a season of realignment, And when heaven starts realigning your life, it doesn't always feel convenient. It often begins with discomfort. You'll start to sense that some things feel too loud for your spirit, that some rooms feel too shallow for the depth of your anointing, that some people still see the older version of you, even though you've outgrown that identity. And that is where you need to be disciplined in discernment, because not everyone can interpret your silence correctly. Some will think you've changed, and you have. Some will think you're avoiding them. And you are not out of fear, but out of faith, because this is the time when stillness protects the soil. What is God planting in you right now? A new identity, a new level of emotional maturity, a new openness to be loved correctly, consistently and completely. And you can't build that with noise in the background. Silence is not emptiness. It's sacred space. That's where the Spirit speaks. That's where direction becomes clear. That's where divine instruction is downloaded. And here's something God is saying to you right now. This is the last time you'll settle. No more halfway love. No more temporary connections. No more tolerating confusion. Just because you're afraid to be alone. Because, beloved, you're not alone. You're being set apart. And soon you'll be joined, not just in romance, but in holy agreement with the one God has called for you. Now listen closely. Your future spouse is not perfect. They are being prepared just like you are. But they will see you. They will cover you. They will choose you with clarity and intention, because they'll be sent, not stumbled upon. You won't have to manipulate the connection. You won't have to chase them. You won't have to convince them. Because when heaven orchestrates love, it feels like peace, not pressure. And that's the biggest sign of all. Peace. If you're wondering whether what you feel now is from God, check your peace. Peace that doesn't fluctuate when they don't text you. Peace that doesn't require performance. Peace that sits quietly in your chest and says, this is safe. Isaiah 26:3 reminds us, you will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you. Your peace is your compass now, not public opinion, not your own fears, not your past trauma. Not even your timeline. Because, yes, heaven knows your timeline. Heaven knows you thought you'd be married by now. Heaven knows you thought you'd have your home, your children, your sense of stability. And maybe you've looked at other people and wondered, why not me? God, the angel hears your heart. And the Lord replies, because I'm building something that will last. Not just bless you for a moment, but bless you for a lifetime. Others may have rushed ahead. Some may have settled. Some may have chosen partners to escape loneliness, not to embrace legacy. But you are being called to legacy. To a kind of love that breaks generational curses. To a home that hosts the presence of God. To a partnership that inspires others to believe again. This is not light work. This is kingdom work. And that's why you've felt the pressing. That's why you've felt misunderstood. That's why you've been pulled into isolation. Because God is marking you for a marriage that reflects His glory not just in how it starts, but in how it endures. And you're almost. There. The move is close, the partnership is near, and the Spirit is whispering, hold your peace. Don't announce. Don't overshare. Don't explain. Just prepare. You're not being rude. You're being wise. Even Jesus, in Mark 5:43, after performing a miracle, strictly charged them that no one should know. Some blessings are born in secret, so they cannot be snatched by premature exposure. You don't need everyone to know you're being proposed to. You don't need to tell everyone when the paperwork is signed. You don't need to broadcast every step of your journey. You just need to walk in obedience. The people who are meant to celebrate with you will find out when it's time. And when it is revealed, it will come with so much confirmation that no one will question it. But until then, be still. Let the process unfold. Let heaven handle the timing. Let God protect what He is building. There's a scripture you need to meditate on in this exact season. Isaiah 60:22. When the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. Not you, not your efforts, not your calendar. The Lord. And if He is the one making it happen, then you can trust the result will be holy and heaven sent. Now, before we close this part, let me speak directly to your soul. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not unseen. Your prayers are not being ignored. Your obedience is not going unnoticed. God sees you deeply, and heaven is responding with precision. The move is on its way. The marriage is on its way. The breakthrough is already scheduled. And your only assignment in this hour is to stay hidden in God, not hidden in fear, but hidden in faith, hidden like Moses before deliverance, hidden like David before the crown, hidden like Esther before her moment in the palace. You are not being denied. You are being preserved. So hold your head high, keep your heart open, keep your space peaceful, and speak only when heaven tells you now. Because soon the doors will open, the proposal will come, the keys will be handed over, and your silence will have been your shield. You've come this far with an open heart, a listening spirit, and a quiet readiness that's rare in this generation. And the angel still speaks, gently, but with urgency. The time is closer than you think. And that is why the battle is heavier than ever. Beloved, if you felt an increase in emotional pressure, unexpected delays, or waves of loneliness that hit you out of nowhere, you're not going backward. You are being sifted before being lifted. God is not testing you to punish you. He is refining your capacity to carry His blessing. The reason you must remain quiet right now is because so much of what is coming cannot be explained. It must be experienced. And before you experience it fully, heaven is removing any hidden roots that would choke the promise. Some of those roots are old soul ties. Yes, the angel is highlighting this now, because for some of you, it's not the new love that's hard to receive. It's the old pain that's hard to release. You say you're ready for love, but part of your heart is still stuck in what didn't work. You say you want your spouse, but in moments of silence, your mind drifts back to someone who left you empty. Angel says, the memory of them is taking up the space meant for covenant. You cannot marry the right person while still nursing emotional attachments to the wrong one. That relationship, whether it was romantic or even just deeply soul-connected, may have felt real at the time, but it was not destiny. God is not cruel. If they were your spouse, they would have stayed. If they were part of your covenant, they would not have left so easily. So stop trying to resurrect what heaven already buried. The longer you keep looking back, the more you delay your arrival. Genesis 19:26 reminds us what happened to Lot's wife when she looked back. But Lot's wife looked back, and she became a pillar of salt. That's not just a story about disobedience. It's a warning about misplaced focus. The past can harden you if you keep revisiting it without healing. But today, healing is here. The angel says, release them, bless them, and move forward. You are not bitter. You are not broken. You are becoming. And part of becoming is learning how to close the door without slamming it. God is not calling you to carry resentment into your marriage. He is calling you to carry wisdom. So take the lessons. Take the clarity, but leave the pain behind. This next love will not resemble your past. Your spouse will not treat you like the people who misused your softness. They will see your gentleness as sacred, not as something to manipulate, and they will handle you with care, because they've been healed too. The one God is sending has also walked through fire. They've cried. They've prayed. They've broken soul ties of their own. And like you, they've waited. So when you two come together, it won't just be a relationship. It will be a divine reunion. Spirit to spirit, assignment to assignment, and it will feel safe, yet powerful. Like Ruth and Boaz, like Mary and Joseph, like two lives that were meant to intersect at just the right moment. But that moment cannot be rushed, because what God joins together, He must first prepare individually. You've been in that preparation season. You've done the healing. You've repented for your mistakes. You've chosen growth, even when it was painful. And heaven has seen every step. Psalm 56:8 says, you have kept count of my tossings, put my tears in your bottle. Are they not in your book? Not one tear has been wasted, and not one prayer has been unheard. No, God is saying, watch what I do with your surrender. For some of you, you'll start to notice dreams intensifying. You may dream of your spouse's face, or you may feel their presence before you meet them. Dismiss this. Your spirits are already reaching for each other. Heaven is starting the connection in the spirit realm first, because what is birthed in the spirit becomes unshakable in the physical. Others of you will begin to feel a sudden desire to clean your space, purge old items, rearrange your room, or even look for new locations. This is not random. That is your spirit preparing your atmosphere for the arrival. When you clean out the old, you're making room for the new. You may also notice your appetite shifting, your tastes maturing. Your sensitivity increasing. Suddenly, entertainment that once felt harmless feels disruptive. Music you used to enjoy no longer brings peace. Conversations feel heavier if they're shallow. Why? Because your spirit is leveling up for love. You're preparing not for a fling, but for forever. And that kind of union requires you to be clear, focused, and aligned. So what do you do in this quiet season? You invest in yourself. You speak kindly to yourself. You keep a journal by your bedside. God may give you dreams, phrases, and names. You get serious about stewardship, not just emotionally, but financially. Because your spouse is not coming to complete you. They are coming to partner with the best version of you. So rise up. You've spent years surviving. Now, it's time to start thriving in stillness. Let me also say this clearly. There will be no delay. The enemy wants to convince you that your promise is still far away. But in the spirit, it's already done. The timeline has already shifted. The angels have already been dispatched. God has already whispered your name into the ear of the one He's chosen for you. You don't have to chase. You don't have to prove. You just need to be ready when they arrive, and ready when the instruction comes to move. Matthew 6:33 gives you the key. But seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. You don't need to seek the person. Seek the kingdom. You don't need to seek the outcome. Seek obedience, and everything else will follow. Your spouse, your home, your new beginning. It will come suddenly, but only after you've been faithful in silence. You are almost there. Hold steady. Beloved soul, you've arrived at the final part of this message. And yet, in the spirit, This is not the end. It's just the beginning. The angel still stands beside you, still speaking, still guarding, still pouring insight into your spirit that words cannot fully capture. And right now, the angel whispers, "It is almost time. Get ready, but say nothing." Why the silence? Because silence creates the atmosphere where faith can bloom undisturbed. Faith is not loud. Faith doesn't need applause. Faith doesn't need to convince others. Faith just believes. And right now, as you near the edge of one of the most significant shifts of your life, your marriage and your move, heaven is asking for your quiet confidence. Not secretiveness, but sacred stillness. This is your season of sacred stillness, where you wake up and smile, not because anything dramatic has changed outwardly, but because something is stirring deeply within. Your inner world has already shifted, and that's the real sign of breakthrough. Before God moves your body, He first moves your mind. Before He brings the spouse, He awakens the identity. Before He opens the door, He adjusts the attitude. And you, beloved, have said yes. You've said yes to becoming. Yes to healing. Yes to surrender. Yes to letting go of timelines and expectations and embracing God's perfect plan. That's why things are moving now, quietly, invisibly, powerfully. It's like the wind. You can't see it, but you can feel it shift everything around you. That's what's happening in the spirit. And soon, it will manifest in your reality. The proposal, the partnership, the place where you'll live together, the new identity. You'll walk in. But before that all unfolds, let me speak one last instruction from heaven to your heart. Stay small in the spirit. Even as you rise, stay humble, stay teachable, stay rooted in the word. Do not let the blessing make you forget the blesser, because the weight of the blessing will only sit well on shoulders that have been trained in quiet obedience. God is trusting you with this. This marriage isn't just for love. It's for legacy. This move isn't just for change, for calling. So steward it well. Let the foundation be worship. The walls be prayer. Let your intimacy be spiritual, not just physical. Let your communication be kind, not just clever. And always remember, what starts in the spirit must be maintained in the spirit. The love that's coming to you will be unlike anything you've known, not because it will be perfect, but because it will be pure, free from manipulation, free from confusion, free from competition. It will be God-written, not self-fabricated. It will feel like home to your soul, and you'll wonder why you ever doubted that love like this could exist. But don't be surprised if the moment it appears, the enemy tries one final attempt to distract or discourage you. That's why this silence now is your shield. Psalm 32:7 says, "You are my hiding place. You will protect me from trouble and surround me with songs of deliverance." This is your hiding place. Your quiet obedience. Your gentle stillness. You don't need to shout what God is doing. Let the blessing speak for itself. Let your glow do the talking. Let your peace be your loudest testimony, because the people who questioned your weight will soon witness your reward. And when they do, your job won't be to gloat, it will be to glorify. To point them back to the one who saw you when no one else did. To point them back to the God who kept you during lonely nights, heavy days, and painful seasons. You will testify. But for now, you just prepare. Wash your heart daily in the Word. Speak life over your future partner. Pray for their peace, their wisdom, their courage to obey God and step into this union. Pray for the transition ahead. Pray for your new environment, that it would be safe, joy-filled, and led by the Spirit. You are about to walk into a completely different chapter. But the person who's entering this chapter isn't the same one who waited. You've grown. You've matured. You've learned when to speak and when to be silent. You've learned how to listen to God, even when others don't understand. And that is what qualifies you. Not perfection, just obedience. Now, I want you to breathe with me. In and out. Let this final word settle into your bones. You are ready. Not in the way the world defines readiness, but in the only way that matters. You trust God more than your fears. And that is enough. I want you to declare it one final time in the comments below. I am ready. I will remain quiet. God is moving. This is your final faith declaration, your agreement with the Word. Before we close, I want to remind you, like this video if this message has spoken deeply to you. Subscribe to Prophetic Message and tap the notification bell so you never miss a divine word that was meant just for you. Share this video with a friend, a sister, a brother, anyone you know who needs confirmation and comfort in their waiting. Because when you share what God is saying, you multiply the blessing. Thank you for staying with me through all 8 parts of this sacred message. The angel is smiling. Heaven is rejoicing. And your next chapter is already being written. You are loved. You are seen. You are chosen. You are protected. And you are about to walk into everything God has promised. Quietly, powerfully, purposefully. Come back soon for more messages like this. Beloved. Until then, stay anchored in faith. You are blessed and ready.